I'm Andy from Plaid. We're here in my flat in North London and we're playing around with Pigments 3. My partner Ed, we've been working together since the late 80s. I guess our passion started with electro and that kind of version of electronic music. Initially we were considered a sort of experimental band. We were certainly using synthesis that maybe people weren't to make music at that point. With Pigments it's very easy just to start from scratch and just create a new patch and decide what engines you want. I guess we don't always know exactly where we're going to end when we start making sounds. Sometimes you can be quite surprised. So this is just a kind of some slightly weird portamento-y, arpeggiated thing. I've added very occasional octave shifts. It will always randomize, and it's slightly gating, so the length of the sounds are changing. That's the sequencer tab in very, very basic form. The FX tab here can add something new, a pitch delay maybe, and maybe make that slightly faster, and maybe give it an octave, and we could filter out some of that top end there. Pigments is a good example of a very forward-thinking synthesizer, and with this latest iteration there's pretty much every synthesis you can imagine in there now. It's a kind of everything all in one. It's kind of tab-based, I suppose, so you've got everything in this one area if you just want to open the tab. So for the synthesis we've got our basic envelopes here, LFOs. There's also these functions and randomizers. Yeah, it's just a very fun to play around with. Percussion is a half-bar loop, and I mean it's basically just a chord being arpeggiated. So there's just a kick with a little bit of a pitch delay on it, and a bit of granular stuff, and a little tappy sort of snare-ish thing there. If people are looking for an all-in-one, you can drag a limited amount of samples into Pigments and create your drums with them. Yeah, that's very nice. Nice wobble on that. So I'm just like locking it to different keys here. It's quite nice. Writing electronic music, especially when we tend to work in loops, it's quite meditative, really. I mean, it's probably spiritually great, it's like enriching. Just listening to something repeat over and over, subtly changing it, it's a real joy. The fact that you've got feedback on your LFOs and your envelopes is wonderful. I suppose the ears come first, but the eyes do take you in different directions. Wow, I feel like I'm down the club already. It's amazing. You've got your engines, analog wavetable, your sampler and the additive engine, new with this version, and you've got two of those. We still like music, and obviously people will say, well, everything's been done now, you can't possibly write a new piece of that. But I don't agree. There's a emotive quality to the progression of notes. It's like a game of Go or a game of chess. There's millions more permutations to be made.